0 wins, 12 losses. Every single time Alex Eala has faced a Czech opponent in her professional career, she has walked off the court on the wrong side of the scoreline. Tomorrow in Birmingham, that record meets its most absurd test yet because the Czech woman standing across the net is the same person who was her doubles partner 5 days ago. The 2026 Lexus Birmingham Open Final brings together Alex Eala and Nikola Bartunkova on Sunday, June 7th. And if you want to watch it live, here is exactly what you need to know. The match will be streamed for free through WTA Unlocked, the official streaming platform for all WTA 125 events. You do not need a paid subscription. You sign up for a free WTA Unlocked membership at wtatennis.com/unlocked and you gain access to the 125 live broadcast. The final is scheduled for Sunday afternoon local time in Birmingham, which translates to 8 o'clock in the evening Philippine time. The broadcast covers the main court at Edgbaston Priory Club, and because this is the final, it will be the featured match of the day with full production coverage. Now that the logistics are handled, let me tell you why this particular final carries a weight that most WTA 125 title matches never do. 5 days before this final was set, Eala and Bartunkova walked onto a Birmingham doubles court as partners. They faced the British pair of Harriet Dart and Maya Lumsden in the first round of the doubles draw. The match went the distance, a super tiebreak in the deciding set, and Eala and Bartunkova lost 10 points to 9 in that final breaker. They shook hands with their opponents, packed their bags, and went back to the locker room knowing that the next time they might share a court in this tournament, it would not be on the same side. 4 days later, both women had sliced through the singles draw from opposite halves, and here they are. Partners turned opponents, each carrying a week's worth of momentum that the other witnessed up close. This is not some abstract philosophical tension. They practiced together. They discussed tactics together. They stood at the net reading each other's signals. Bartunkova knows exactly how Eala's forehand behaves under pressure because she was standing 6 feet away while it happened. Eala knows Bartunkova's patterns because she watched them from the ad-court return position during warm-ups and the match itself. Whatever informational advantage usually takes weeks of video study to acquire, these two already possess an intimate, embodied form. But information is not the same as execution, and that distinction matters enormously when we look at what each woman has done to get here. Eala's week has been clinical. She opened against Australia's Priscilla Hahn and dropped just 2 games in a 6-0, 6-2 demolition. Against Elena Karyeva in the round of 16, she won the first set 6-2, then found herself down 5-2 in the second before staging a comeback to close it 7-5. That Karyeva match is important context because it showed that even when Eala's level dips mid-match, her grass-court instincts now allow her to find solutions without panicking. She beat Maninkaya Sawanki 6-3, 6-2 in the quarterfinals, a match where her movement and court coverage looked sharper than at any point during her clay court season. And then came the semi-final against Rebecca Mazarova, the match that actually tested her. Mazarova, a Swiss qualifier ranked 132, pushed Eala into 3 sets for the first time all week. After Eala took the first set 6-2, Mazarova found her range and won the second 6-4. Then rain came. The match was suspended with Eala leading 3-2 in the decider. And when they returned to court after the delay, Eala showed composure that would have been unthinkable during her clay struggles in Stuttgart and Madrid. She held firm, broke Mazarova's serve at 4-3, and closed the match 6-3 in the final set. That rain delay is relevant because it introduced exactly the kind of disruption that has historically rattled Eala. A break in momentum, time to think, time for doubt to creep in. She handled it without visible anxiety. Bartunkova's path has been wilder. This is the first grass court tournament of her entire professional career. Let me repeat that because it sounds implausible for a woman in a WTA 125 final. She had never played a professional match on grass before this week. Her opener against Birmingham's own Harriet Dart went 3 sets, and she lost the first of them. She was down a surface she had never competed on, in front of a crowd pulling for the home player. She won that match 3-6, 6-3, 7-5. In the quarterfinals against British teenager Mika Stajasevic, she was pushed to a third-set tiebreak, saving match points along the way before prevailing 6-4, 6-7, 7-6. Her semi-final against American qualifier Ashlyn Kruger was her cleanest match. 6-4, 7-6. But even there, she needed to navigate a second-set tiebreak that went to 9-7. Notice the difference. Eala has been dominant, dropping just one set before the semi-final. Bartunkova has been surviving. She has won 3 consecutive 3-set or extended matches. There is a fatigue argument to be made here, a very serious one. But there is also a counter-argument, which is that Bartunkova has now been tested in every conceivable pressure scenario on grass, deficit, match points against hostile crowd, tiebreaks, and she has found a way through each one. That kind of survival builds a particular psychological armor that pure dominance does not. IGA knows how to win comfortably on this surface. Barty knows how to win when everything is collapsing around her. The tactical matchup is genuinely fascinating. Barty plays tennis that looks nothing like most 20-year-olds on tour. She rushes the net with abandon. She hits drop shots in situations where conventional wisdom demands a rally ball. She serves with variety rather than pure power. Her first serve percentage in the semi-final was only 55%, but she won nearly all of those first serve points that landed. Her game has been compared to Karolina Muchova, and the comparison is earned. They train at the same club in Prague, and Barty's tactical audacity carries the same DNA. She plays with flair because she genuinely enjoys it, not as a calculated strategy. In her own words from a recent interview in Rome, "That is my game. I like to volley, to go to the net, to do more drop shots. That is my game, and I will play it forever." IGA's game on grass is different. She thrives on pace, on taking the ball early, on using the low bounce to drive through her forehand and redirect with her backhand. She is fundamentally a baseliner who has learned to use the grass to accelerate her natural timing. Her movement this week has been exceptional, light, balanced, willing to slide into wide balls rather than lunge. The question is what happens when Barty disrupts her rhythm. Because that is what Barty does. She takes time away differently than a hard-hitting baseliner would. Instead of overpowering you from the back of the court, she steals time by coming forward, by changing the geometry of the point so that you are suddenly hitting passing shots instead of controlling rallies. Eala has not faced anyone this week who plays that way. Han, Kuri Soyuncu, Mazarova, they are all primarily baseliners. Bartunkova represents a stylistic challenge that nothing in Eala's Birmingham draw has prepared her for. And then there is the check curse. 0 for 12 is not a number you can dismiss as coincidence. It spans multiple surfaces, multiple years, multiple opponents. Eala has lost to Linda Noskova, Karolina Muchova, Marie Buzkova, and several others. The losses range from competitive 3-setters to a 6-0, 6-2 demolition at the hands of Muchova in Miami. Now, Bartunkova is not Muchova. She is not Noskova. She is ranked 69 in the world, 32 places below Eala. The hierarchy of talent and results clearly favors Eala. But psychological patterns are real. When you have lost 12 consecutive matches against players from a single country, the 13th is never just another match. There is a mental residue, a split-second hesitation when things get tight, a whisper in the back of your mind that says this is how it always goes. The Filipino tennis community is acutely aware of this statistic. Social media across the Philippines has been buzzing with discussions about whether Eala can finally break through. Fans are calling it a curse, a jinx, something almost supernatural. That kind of collective anxiety can either fuel a player, the desire to silence the narrative once and for all, or it can add invisible weight to an already pressurized situation. For Bartunkova, there is none of that baggage. She is playing with house money. This is her first grass court event ever, and she is already in the final. Everything from here is surplus. There is no check curse working against her, no historical weight to carry. She can walk onto court tomorrow with the freedom of someone who has already exceeded every reasonable expectation. That psychological asymmetry is real, and it matters. But, let me give you the strongest case for Eala, beyond ranking, beyond form, beyond seeding. This is a player who reached the final of the Lexus Eastbourne Open last year, a full WTA Tour event, a level above this tournament, and held 4 championship points before losing to Maya Joint in a final set tiebreak. She has been in this position before, on this surface, against this level of pressure. She knows what the final Sunday of a grass court tournament feels like. She knows what happens to her body when she is 2 points from a title. She has been there. She lost. And she came back. That Eastbourne final loss is not trauma for Eala, it is education. She learned exactly what it costs to serve for a grass court title and fail to close. She learned what the crowd feels like, what the tension in her forearm means, what happens to her toss when the stakes climb. You cannot buy that knowledge. You can only earn it by living through the moment and surviving the aftermath. Bartunkova has no equivalent was at the ITF level. A WTA 125 final is genuinely new territory for her. If you're watching this match, here's what to look for tactically. Watch Bartunkova's approaches to the net in the first 3 games. If she comes forward early and often, she is playing her natural game without hesitation. If she hangs back and rallies from the baseline, the occasion may be affecting her. Watch Eala's first serve percentage. When it sits above 60%, she is almost unbreakable on grass. When it dips below 50, she becomes vulnerable because her second serve lacks the kick to keep opponents from attacking it. Watch the body language after lost points. Eala's clay court season was marked by visible frustration, head drops, racket slaps, conversations with her box. On grass this week, that has been largely absent. If it returns in the final, it will signal that the Czech curse is occupying more mental space than her preparation should allow. The most beautiful thing about this final is its novelty. These 2 women have never played each other. There is no head-to-head record, no prior data to lean on. Every point tomorrow will be new information. Every game will tell both players something they did not know before about how their games interact. This is rare in professional tennis. At this level, where players face each other repeatedly and matchups become familiar, tomorrow is genuine discovery for both of them happening in real time. For viewers in the Philippines, the match will stream at approximately 8 o'clock in the evening through WTA Unlocked, which is accessible through the WTA website or the WTA app. Create a free account, navigate to 125 Live, and the Birmingham Final will be the featured stream. For viewers in Europe, the match takes place Sunday afternoon, and the same WTA Unlocked platform carries the broadcast. Tennis Channel also provides coverage of Birmingham for subscribers in North America. This final will determine whether Alex Eala captures the second WTA 125 title of her career after Guadalajara last year, and whether she can finally end the most statistically improbable losing streak of her professional life. It will determine whether Nikola Bartunkova, a woman who had never touched a professional grass court 8 days ago, can win a title on a surface she is still learning to read. One of these stories will resolve tomorrow. One of these women will lift a trophy she has spent the week earning in completely different ways. One through dominance, the other through survival. Set your alarms. Sign up for WTA Unlocked and understand that what you are about to witness is not just a tennis final. It is a collision between a jinx and a debut, between history and first contact, between a player trying to prove she has conquered her demons and a player who does not yet know what demons this surface might contain. Birmingham, Sunday, grass court, free to watch. Be there.